Hello, my name is Mike, and in this video you join me next to the 2021 Mazda CX-5. This is the 100th anniversary edition. Unfortunately, if you're watching this in the United States, you do not get this special trim. This is a Canadian exclusive. But look at it this way, a CX-5 signature trim with white paint and red leather seats. Okay, you do get a few more extra stuff, and I'll go through what you get in this 100th anniversary a little later in the video. But this generation of the CX-5 has been around since 2017, and in that time its competitors have had updates. So how does this CX-5 still stack up against the competition? Well, let's go for a drive and find out.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
The Mazda CX-5 is available with two engine options. The lower end trims get a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder, whereas the mid to higher trims are available with a turbocharged version of that engine, which is what I have here. This engine has two power outputs depending on what fuel you use. If you're going to be putting in regular fuel, you'll get 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. But if you go for the more expensive premium fuel, then you'll get 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. For a compact SUV that weighs 1,730 kilograms, thereabouts, this CX-5 actually goes. Like, you don't even have to let the transmission downshift and just put your foot down and you immediately feel that surge of acceleration. All that power gets sent to an automatic transmission, but it's not a 7-speed or an 8-speed or a 9-speed or even a 10-speed automatic like how some of its competitors has. Or thankfully it's not even a CVT like how Nissan likes to use in their vehicles. No, this is a 6-speed automatic. And while it only has 6 gears, Mazda has had years to refine this transmission to the point where it's now pretty much the best 6-speed automatic that you can buy. The shifts are very smooth and they are very quick, and even if you put it into manual mode and start using the paddle shifters, they are very quick to respond to your inputs. But while this is a very good compact SUV from a performance standpoint, one of its biggest drawbacks is fuel economy. With this 2.5 turbo engine and the all-wheel drive system, the Mazda CX-5 is rated at 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway and 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers in a city. And this engine doesn't even have auto start stop, so when you arrive at a stoplight, then the engine is just going to keep running. It's not going to shut off and then turn back on as soon as you let go of the brake. Happily, however, Mazda isn't BSing you when it comes to those fuel economy numbers. Right now, I'm averaging around 10.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and I've been driving mostly, well, I want to say 80% city and about 20% highway. So you can definitely achieve those fuel economy targets. The way the Mazda CX-5 goes around corners is what gives it its sporty credentials. Sharp and communicative steering provides feedback that you'd find on a sports car. Because of this, the CX-5 gives you the confidence to drive it around corners at higher speeds than other SUVs. However, the heavier steering does not go light enough at parking lot speeds, which may make it a bit tiring maneuvering the CX-5 in a tight spot. It's not awful, but more assist could be useful. Oh, and before we go to the comfort part of the review, forgot to mention that the Mazda CX-5 with this turbo engine can tow up to 2,000 pounds. If you need to. This being a more sporty-oriented SUV, the ride is a little bit on the firm side compared to its competition. At slower speeds, you definitely notice the bumps a bit more than you do at higher speeds. Now, I'm not saying that this is an uncomfortable SUV because it just isn't. It's just that there are slightly more comfortable compact SUVs in this class. The Nissan Rogue or the Honda CR-V come to mind. In terms of noise and vibrations, you do notice the engine noise when you accelerate, even at a moderate pace in everyday traffic. But the great thing about Mazda engines is that they don't sound like cheap four-cylinder engines. This turbocharged engine actually sounds like it has some power and some muscle behind it. Makes a really good deep tone. So I actually don't mind hearing the engine when I accelerate. At highway speeds, wind and road noise are very well subdued, and inside the cabin, nothing squeaks and nothing rattles. So everything has a really good, solid build quality to it. When it comes to passenger space, the Mazda CX-5 provides an ample amount. Front legroom is almost on par with the Toyota RAV4, but the CX-5 offers quite a bit more headroom even with the sunroof. In the back, the Mazda doesn't have as much legroom as the Honda CR-V, but it still has enough for taller adults like myself. Although my knees are touching the back of the front seat behind my driving position, there is an indent in the back of the seat, so I don't feel squished. As well, headroom is very good in the back. Where the Mazda CX-5 lags behind its competitors is cargo volume. With the rear seats up, it can only accommodate 875 liters of cargo, whereas its competitors offer over 1,000 liters of space. It's the same story when folding the back seats. The CX-5 only has enough room for 1,687 liters of cargo, whereas the CR-V, Rogue, and RAV4 offer around 2,000 liters of cargo space. When it comes to gadgets in the 2021 Mazda CX-5, I unfortunately have to start with some bad news. For us, in the Canadian market, that is. That's because this does not have the new infotainment system. If you're in the United States, you do get the new infotainment system with the 10.25 inch screen, not a touch screen, that was first introduced on the Mazda 3 and the Mazda CX-30. If you want to know how that system operates, check out my Mazda 3 and CX-30 reviews. I'll leave a link in this video's description. But long story short, it's not a touchscreen. You have to use the rotary knob down here on the center console, and it looks and operates much more quickly than this older system. In terms of other gadgets on the Mazda CX-5, it has heated seats, it has a heated steering wheel, but of course, this being a Mazda, it's only heated at the 9 and 3 position, not top and bottom. There are heated seats in the back. You have ventilated front seats. You also have a heads-up display, automatic climate control, blind spot sensors, forward collision alert with emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, and lane departure warning with lane keep. A few things that are a little bit annoying, but I'm okay to live with on a day-to-day basis in the Mazda CX-5 is the cup holders. For one, I don't like the positioning of it. I prefer it up here, but I do understand why they're here. If they were in the front, then it would be blocking the climate controls and you can inadvertently touch them. My other minor complaint is the 360 cameras. This does have it, but they're standard definition, not HD. The 2021 Mazda CX-5 100th Anniversary Edition cost $43,500 Canadian. As I said at the start of the video, this is a Canadian exclusive, but in the American market, you can get the signature trim in this white snowflake pearl paint with the same gadgets for $37,900 US. Okay, so now we're at the Instagram part of this video, and this is where you ask me questions about any specific thing that you want to know about the car that I have for the week. You can join in by following me on Instagram at mgreviews. Only two questions for the Mazda CX-5. First one is, what's so special about the 100th anniversary edition? I'll see if I can remember everything off the top of my head, but here we go. It has 100th anniversary badges on the outside. It has special 100th anniversary wheel center caps. It has red Napa leather with 100th anniversary badging in the headrest. It has red carpets and red floor mats, which, by the way, show up dirt much more easily. It only comes in this white snowflake pearl paint, and it has white leather on the center console and the door panels. One thing to note about that white leather, this car only has about 4,200 kilometers, and in that time being shared between I don't know how many auto journalists, you can already tell on the driver's side where the knee padding is that it's starting to get a bit smudged up with dirt and grime. So I hate to see it after 40,000 kilometers with the white leather. Oh, and also the key fob has a little 100th anniversary logo on it as well. Second question, any differences for 2021? For the Canadian spec, you just have this 100th anniversary edition and the Kuro edition. In America, it's called the Carbon edition, which is basically just dark gray paint with black wheels and a few other exterior trim pieces that are in black. Oh, and also for the Americans, you also have that 10.25-inch updated infotainment system. That's about it for 2021 on the CX-5. So in conclusion, the Mazda CX-5 is still very much a driver's car. If you want something with a bit more space on the inside, then the Honda CR-V is your better bet. If you want something with a hybrid powertrain, Toyota RAV4 comes to mind. And if you want something that has all the bells and whistles as this one does, but at a lower price, then the brand new Nissan Rogue is the one to look at. But overall, the 2021 Mazda CX-5 is still a great car. It obviously drives really well. The interior fit and finish is fantastic, and 4 years on, it still looks pretty good. So if you are considering a compact SUV, this is definitely a top 3 contender. If you want to know more about the 2021 Mazda CX-5 100th Anniversary Edition, I wrote a comprehensive and detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description down below. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck, or probably be another SUV next time. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.